of us who are dummies. Is it really that we're dummies? Is it that we're less educated? Is it that we're poor? So how do we get the shelter that we already know how to create into the lives of the people who really need it? And grand ideas, fantastic, all of them. How do we pay for this? So I want us to think about climate change in terms of what is this going to mean to you, your kids, your grandchildren, in your lifetime. Just assuming that it's going to continue to get hotter, because guess what? I don't see all of us driving around in little hybrid cars, and I had to ride my bike for a week and a half, and I was quite into it. I'm really happy to have my car back. All right. Just as an example of shelter, very quickly, the Green Home Store will sell you a floor plan for a home that can withstand the 200-mile-per-hour winds that I was talking about. It has really high R values. That's your insulation value. And that's your basic kit. Your basic kit costs you $120,000 to build. We're not talking about the piece of property. Now, if you want a little extra security, we're going to put in a photovoltaic system. We're going to have a backup tank or battery system. We're going to put in some nice windows, a little gray water recycling. That's adding cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching to the cost. But I don't want you to get too depressed about that, because how cool is it that we can do this? I mean, this is really neat. And how cool is it that there is a company that's willing to sell you a floor plan for a non-McMansion? This is not a McMansion. This is 1,200 square feet. You can live in that. You can live in that with a family. You can live in it, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be attractive. It's going to meet your needs. So I don't want to get too depressed about the fact that it's $120,000, because I'm just pretty psyched that it exists at all. Yeah?
Does that include the supplies, or does it just include like the floor plan and
if you were to build this home with the materials that they recommend, it would have broadly cost you about $120,000. That's material and labor. Where you're going to put that home, that's extra. Any upgrades that you're going to do, that's all going to be extra. And even just to make, all the lights be fluorescent, somehow that is extra. I need to talk to Peter about that, because I'm feeling like the lights should be a no-brainer. Home Depot could do it, surely the home store can. All right, so that's your home. That's a piece of it. How about our infrastructure? Let's think about this. Well, how is climate change going to affect the construction of, the location of, the cost of things like roads, buildings, oil refineries, hospitals, schools, Flagler College? How you got to Flagler College? I mean, infrastructure is everything that you don't really think about. And we need these items in order to maintain our quality of life. I just want to make sure I'm hitting all these really super important points. Now, like with the house, we can build buildings that are environmentally sound. We can build roads that are above the ground so that they are not as affected by super wet weather. We can build mass transit. Is that the cheapest way to do it today? What do you think? Probably not. So we need to look a little bit into the future, or we need our little CEOs with our candles in the darkened rooms, having their change of heart. It could happen. You're absolutely right. Ethical Markets Media, one of the things that we do is showcase those companies all around the world that are behaving from a socially responsible, environmentally conscious perspective. Not only are they behaving that way, but they're also making a living that way. If they were told by President Obama that they could only make $500,000 in salary per year, they'd be going, woo, yeah, bring on that $500,000. But these are the kinds of companies where the CEOs are taking as much money as they need to live comfortably, and letting their employees take money that they need to live comfortably, and using products and manufacturing processes that might cost a little bit more, but in the long run, are going to pay off. So it absolutely can be done. Before I move on from infrastructure, though, I just want you to think about roads. Just roads. We're not even worried about oil refineries. I don't know jack about oil refineries. In the United States, according to NOAA, which we heard about earlier, 60,000 miles of coastal highways are already exposed to periodic seasonal flooding.
This is your
60,000 miles already. And this is before we see reversing effects. So when we're talking about global climate change, you know what? We don't even have to. There are things that we need to fix right here and right now. Because when that hurricane comes, I want to haul my ass out of here, and I want the road to be able to take it. And how can we make sure that that's there? Well, I also want you to go all the way back to one of the first questions I asked. Do I need to be living on the coast in the first place? Should there be a road on the coast in the first place? All right, moving on. Keep me animated, keep me brief. Population growth. Pretty much everything I've talked about so far has been just dealing with the U.S. But we know population growth all over the place. It is expected that by 2050, global climate change will have affected adversely 1 billion people on the planet. 1 billion people affected adversely by global climate change. Now this is brought to you courtesy of the United Nations Environment Program and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. These are scientists we can actually trust because they're the ones that got the Nobel Prize in 2007. But here's a little something about that 1 billion figure, misleading you just a little bit. It's 1 billion people in Asia adversely affected. What about Africa? What about Europe? What about South America? What about us? How many of us are going to be adversely affected? And how are we going to protect ourselves? We need to think about these things in terms of providing those roads, those schools, those hospitals, those shelters, those homes. All right, here in the U.S., 153 million of us live in coastal counties. That's over half of our population, again, according to NOAA, 2003. That number has probably gone up a little bit since then. So this isn't anything that I'm speculating that's going to happen to somebody else. It's not really that important. It's half of us, and it's really you and me right here, right now, because we're in freaking St. Augustine, Oklahoma. Sound is really good. What do you want for your quality of life? What kind of a quality of life do you want? Is it all about how much money you can make? Is it all about what products you can buy? In the case of climate change, what can we do to maintain that quality of life? Now, I would love to have time to talk to you and try to convince you that actually our quality of life is a little too high and we need to scale back a little bit. But yeah, moot point. Not going to go there because really what's happening is everybody else wants to reach us and very few people want to go backwards, just the crazy ones of us. But I want you to notice that the quality of life indicators, at least for this model, include recreation, education, employment, energy, environment, health, human rights. So when we're planning for this future of global change, global climate change, when we're planning for this future where it might be hotter, wetter, colder, stormier, where food might be scarce, where our homes are no longer strong enough to take care of us, what do we really want to count as worth? And if we want to maintain a quality of life that we kind of have now, which I'm willing to accept for today, what can we do? So I think what I've done is I've pitched you my social agenda. You have to buy into it, okay? What was the second part? I'm going to sell you on the solution. Go selling! Sell you on the solution. Let's grow the green economy, folks. You've probably heard a bunch about this. Dan Jones, he's been making the circuits, very handsome man, wise man, who's been saying